What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I'm Marlon Dahl of Vireo Video. You can check them out at VireoVideo.com. And Marlon, before I formally introduce you, I always like to point out other episodes of the podcast people should check out. Since this is part of the Top Agency series, and there was one really good one I loved, which was with the Dee Clevitt. And so she's an interesting niche, Marlon. She helps people. She's a done-for-you business that helps people create SOPs. So if someone wants to smooth out their onboarding process for staff or clients, she'll come in, she'll document it, she'll create it in some software where everyone can locate it. And we geeked out on our favorite tools, software, productivity hacks. So that was a really fun episode. Another good one was with Todd Taskey. Todd Taskey runs the Second Bite podcast, and he pairs agency owners with private equity and helps sell agencies. And it's called Second Bite because sometimes when the private equity acquires the agency and they sell again, they sometimes make more on the second bite than they do on the first bite. So he talks about the agency space, valuations. That was a really good episode as well. And of course, I have two episodes with Jason Swank where he talks about building up his agencies to 8 figures and selling it. So those are really good episodes too. So check those out at InspiredInsider.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise25. At Rise25, we help businesses give to and connect to their dream relationships and partnerships. How do we do that? We do that by helping you run your podcast. We're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. And we do the strategy, the accountability, and the full execution. So like Marlon does for YouTube ads, we are kind of like the magic elves that run in the background to make it look easy for the host and the company so they can create amazing relationships and great content, and most importantly, run their business. For me, the number one thing in my life is relationships, and I'm always looking at ways to give to my best relationships. And I personally have found no better way over the past decade than to profile the people and companies I most admire and share with the world what they're working on. So if you've thought about podcasting, you should. If you have questions, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com to learn more. I'm excited to introduce Marlon Dahl. He's the founder and CEO of Vireo Video. Marlon and his 20-plus team, they specialize in helping brands grow their business through YouTube marketing and advertising. They've worked with 200-plus clients, including brands like GitHub, Thinkific, Best Buy, Eckhart Tolle, and many, many more. And Marlon, I'm excited to chat. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Jeremy.
So I want to start with just talk about Vireo Video and what you do. And as you're doing that, I'm going to pull up your website here so people can check it out.
Sounds great. So Vireo Video is a YouTube marketing and advertising agency, as you mentioned. So we've been specialized in that for the past 7 years. So we don't focus on anything else, but we're just trying to be the best in the world at helping brands be more successful on YouTube. So we offer a couple core pillar services, but that starts with strategy, then moves on to optimization, content creation, and advertising. So those are kind of our 4 pillars of services, and each one of those plays a pivotal role in helping brands be better on YouTube.
We're going to get into, I know you started and jumped into this whole industry because of BBTV, and we'll talk about some of the learnings there, but you mentioned optimization. What are some of when you go in, and I know you have clients go in and go, hey, Marlon, talk about our YouTube channel and optimization. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people making? And maybe I'll pull up yours and, you'll point out, well, these are the mistakes that obviously they're not on your channel, but that you've seen on others.
Yeah, sure. And for our channel, we are just starting to practice what we preach and put out more content for YouTube. But there's definitely some valuable learnings within this. So some of the mistakes that brands make is they don't go in with a strategy. So they just put out videos, and it could be from multiple departments, and it becomes just a place where videos go to die. And conference video recaps, just videos that people aren't really interested in, that don't retain an audience and don't really provide value. And so most important thing is starting with a fundamental strategy that is based on research, whether that is from your existing channel of looking at what's working or what's not, or looking at competitors and seeing who is successful in the space, what videos are most likely to, or the top performers for those channels, and not just direct competitors, but also competitors of your target audience's attention. So that would be a fundamental thing to start with. Other mistakes more specific to optimization pertain to prioritizing the wrong things. So things like tags, keywords. While SEO is an important factor, tags and keywords don't play a big role, where the thumbnail and the title, those have much greater impact for a brand than keywords do. And so when you overly keyword stuff or focus on that, putting the video in the wrong priority, where really it's about creating a great video and then having great packaging, and the SEO is going to come through the title and description and the captions, but keywords don't play a big role.
What about from a thumbnail perspective? I know I've watched several of your videos. They're great. People can check them out on YouTube. And you do talk about how thumbnails are so important.
Yeah, thumbnails, it's the first thing that people see. It's kind of like the trailer for a video. And so when people are scrolling on YouTube, they're deciding on what to watch, and there's so much competition. And so you really have to compel people to click, and you can do that by inspiring curiosity to click. And so what we do is we do thumbnail split testing. And so we A/B test at least 2 thumbnails against each other. And so that gives us not only great data for that specific video, but great data to be able to improve our thumbnails on an ongoing basis. And there's a couple tools that can be used to achieve that. But that's one of the, I think, most valuable things that a channel can do to be able to optimize the potential performance of a video that has already been recorded.
I know that, I don't know if you want to share your screen, but I know you geek out on tools like me, or you could just talk about them, whatever is best for you.
Sure, happy to share some.
Okay, cool.
Share some tools. Let me share.
And as you're doing that, Marlon, I'll just say, you also have another channel. Like you actually were like, okay, I should probably have my own channel. And this was a BPTV, and you started Bachelor on a Budget, which I think you grew to over 70,000 subscribers. And so people can check out some of your, and I know you're not a bachelor anymore, but your whereabouts and some of the good dishes you've created. And you use the same methodology with that channel as well.
Yeah, that's how I started in being able to put out my own content and really understand the platform and what works, and do the keyword research and see the things that are most likely to have an impact on YouTube. But speaking to some of the tools, so I have a few different tools that I use. So one of these is kind of a standard vidIQ. There's a couple tools that do this specific feature, but I find this feature really valuable, the outlier score, because it can show you what videos are doing much better than others. So this is great for competitor research. When you pull up a competitor and seeing, okay, well, what videos are most likely to continue to grow, and what videos are most successful. So you can see in this case, like this video was 100 times outperformed the channel average, or 70 times, or 6.3 times. So you can get a better understanding really quickly. And vidIQ has lots of other great features, along with TubeBuddy. They're kind of the most known and standard. But in combination with a tool like this, I will track those videos, and whether it's a great thumbnail or competitors that I'm trying to track. And I'll use a tool like ClickPilot. And so ClickPilot is a tool where you can be able to, if I want to capture this video, I can choose what folder I want to put this in, and then have a suite of different thumbnails for it. And that can be really valuable to be able to go back and see, okay, what thumbnails worked really well for a specific niche, like real estate or health, or business thumbnails, for example, or a specific client. So that's a great tool. Other tools, Mr. Beast has just launched a premium version of his tool View Stats. And so View Stats, also a Chrome extension, can give you a lot of data, but it can also show you history of thumbnail split tests, which can be highly valuable to see, okay, well, what was the thumbnail that a brand started with and what was the improvement since then? So those are a few of the tools that I like to use.
What are some channels you look at to get inspiration? You mentioned, just mentioned Mr. Beast, obviously. What are some channels you look at?
I have a couple like YouTube channels that I'm really fond of. So my favorite YouTuber is Harry Mack.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff.
Yeah, he's best freestyle rapper in the world. But he had a unique series of Omegle bars. So we would go on Omegle, the random streaming site where you would randomly stream across to someone else, and he would just ask for 3 words and do a freestyle rap. And so he's definitely a favorite for it. And I think the inspiration that can be taken from that is he had a unique value proposition or multiple. So one, he has a skill set, and so he took
That's a
that
crazy skill set. Like if anyone's listening, just watch a few of. I mean, for me, it's addictive. For definitely to watch his stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So his skill is unparalleled. Like nobody can touch him in terms of this, in my opinion. But he did this series that was on Omegle, and so he had a unique value proposition, and he added some novelty to that. And I think that is something that is super important for you to be successful, is identifying what is the unique value proposition that only you can add and provide on your YouTube channel that there aren't a ton of other brands doing, whether that is through the values of your company or through the tone. Maybe you're more humorous. Maybe you have access to specific studies that your company is doing that you can provide exclusive insights to. Maybe you have access to a network that you can feature on your channel, or staff that are highly talented that you want to feature. So there's those are some of the key elements to be able to actually generate an audience. I think at a much more rapid pace is being able to trend jack, create novelty, and have a unique value proposition.
So other favorite channels. So Harry Mack, Mr. Beast, and I just want to point out one of my favorite videos from him, Marlon, was he freestyles for Ice Cube and Seth Rogen. I don't know if you've seen that one. That one is fantastic. So people can check that out. But just search on YouTube, probably Harry Mack and Ice Cube, and it'll show up. What's another favorite YouTube channel?
So I mean, here's my homepage. So you're going to kind of see deep. This is a very personal thing, being able to see what someone's YouTube homepage is. But I'd say CoffeeZilla is a great one. This guy reviews scams for it. So whether these are business scams or scams via influencers, he has a great format for it, and he does deep research. And so every video is going to be really valuable and insightful, and it's edutainment. And edutainment, I think, is one of another way that brands can really crush it. Instead of just providing education or entertainment, combining those and making edutaining content that is both valuable to watch, but also interesting to watch. It's engaging, it's entertaining.
It definitely is. I've seen his videos as well. Very, very entertaining, especially if he'll it's just funny the way he does it, but he'll talk about a lot of gurus, and like some of the ones that he doesn't love, or that he's found through his research, people are not getting the value that is promised.
Yeah, totally. I can share one that we work on, Eckhart. So we've been working with Eckhart for over 4 years now, I think longer. And we've went through a variety of different tests.
I have a couple of his books. Yeah,
nice. Power of Vow and New Earth. So we split test every thumbnail, and so we're constantly testing things to see what's working. And the channels continue to grow. Like I think when we started, we're like 500,000, and now we're like 4x that. for it. But you can see thumbnails like are featuring like a general theme, and we have brand guidelines that we have to adhere to. But this channel, I think the thumbnails are both inspirational and do a good job of inspiring that curiosity to click for it.
Can you break down a little bit about, and you don't have to say specifically, but like one split test that you learned from? Because obviously you're creating the thumbnails, you think they're all going to work, right? And this is the same thing with copywriters, direct response marketers. Like, even some of the best in the world that I've seen will come up with ideas and one will fall flat, even though they're genius at what they do. What was like a thumbnail split test that you remember learning from that you were maybe shocked from the results? I can't believe this one outdid this one.
Yeah, I'd have to pull one up. I don't do all of the split tests. Usually that is someone from my team. So you'd have to bear with me as I pull something up for it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I won't put you on the spot if you don't have it handy, but I'd be just curious to see or hear from you what split test, what worked and what didn't work in a specific example.
Yeah, so we found that so there's a variety of things that we test when we're testing, and so you have base things like facial expressions, the words that are actually on a thumbnail, and when you're testing out split test, what you don't want to do is test so many different things. Like you might just test one element. There is a Mr. Beast test that was released where he had his wide expression, where he'd have a shocked face, whereas and then he split test that all of those videos that had that shocked face with a smile, and they actually found the smile outperformed all of the shocked face one by good enough margin where they started.
I'm surprised at that too, because the shocked face probably sticks out more.
Yeah, totally. I think that it was overdone for it, and so having that smile was a bit more authentic and refreshing. That's something you hadn't seen from his channel before, or at least in a long time for it.
So you'll look at expression, you'll look at the words, images, anything else of what you are looking to put on there to test.
Yeah, so it can even be other things within the words. So positive and versus negative sentiment, even small things like capitalization can make a difference. Testing a longer series of words versus a shorter series of words, even if they're saying basically the same thing for it. Having like indicator arrows, like red arrows or big circles where it's highlighting something specific in the video. So those all play a difference in that. Colors and contrast play a role, but mostly it is the things that make the biggest difference is on the symbolism of the video. What is being described visually for that thumbnail.
Marlon, could you pull up the Eckhart Tolle YouTube for a second? I want to just take a look at, because I know you talk about the header being really important as well. And so I'd love for you to talk about some of the elements that people should consider for the header of their channel.
In terms of the banner?
Yeah, the banner. Yeah.
Yeah, the banner is one of the first things that people see when they come onto a channel, and so it doesn't need to be too complicated for it. It actually doesn't play a super big role in whether people decide to subscribe, but it plays some role, so it's worth having. But basically, you want to ideally make it so that people can see what your value proposition is right from when they land on the channel. In having either a good picture or your brand logo in there. And previously you could have call to actions, but they don't work as well now that the sign up links have moved positions. But main thing is that you're communicating a value proposition.
That's what I was going to ask next, is what you've seen best practices from like a call to action perspective in videos.
Yeah, so call to actions, when you do them at the end, you're going to miss a large portion of your audience. Still important to do because that audience is most likely to go on to watch another video. But unless the video has a specific goal of getting someone to your website to sign up for a specific lead magnet that you're referencing in the video, what is most ideal is to get people to go to another video, because YouTube really values people staying on the platform. And when they see people doing that, they're more likely to give your videos more impressions, because they see, okay, this is creating more session watch time. So there's video watch time and then there's session watch time. And so if you can get people to create a great viewing path going from one video to another, whether that is through the end screen buttons and a verbal call to action, or through a playlist that can also be an end screen, those are going to start creating that path. And then you're more likely to have those videos showing up in the suggested feed for videos that people can click next for it. And you're creating a path for people to go through your channel and ideally binge through multiple videos and spend more time with your brand, or whether it's to generate more ad revenue. So I would say that that would be the priority, rather than getting people immediately off YouTube, is getting people to watch more.
Yeah, so creating that path, and one of the ways is, you said, creating like an end screen. Like, so when you're creating a video for someone, you may create like an end screen for them to click to something that's related, or something they have found after they, view this video. This would be a good video, and also a playlist as well.
Yeah, you can do one or the other for it, but ideally at the end of the video, it's accessible, and you can have something in the description too, like a relevant playlist.
Love it. So I know there's a lot of stuff people can do from an organic perspective, but I know that you also specialize in paid, right? To put supercharge on things. So talk about some of the paid stuff, because I know there's various ways of what people can do with paid on YouTube.
Yeah, so for YouTube advertising, where it works best is when you are building an audience organically, and then you're able to remarket to those audience with ads. That's like the low-hanging fruit of YouTube ads, where you're going to have the highest return on ad spend, because people have already had a touch point. It's not the first. That works amazingly well. Now, YouTube ads can be the first touch points, but you have to have an amazing video that is almost like a hero video, or a VSL, a video sales letter, that really compels people to watch a 3-minute video. So bumper ads, like short videos, those are good for the Coca-Colas of the world that want to have a quick, succinct message to keep you top of mind. But for someone that is trying to sell a product, you need to be able to hook that audience with the creative, to be able to speak to some of the pain points that your target customer might be feeling that they resonate with, because if they're about to click to watch another video, you have to really compel them to keep on. And so whether that is providing value or speaking to their pain points, and then introducing your solutions that you've come across, or what your product does that helps to address these problems, how these solutions, whether it's through your product or service, solve some of these problems, and then being able to introduce some credibility for it. So being able to show testimonials, reviews, awards, all of that plays into whether someone's going to trust you for it. And that's, essential for being able to actually create a sale. And then you can have initial call to action, get people to go to your landing page that is also in alignment with your creative. So it's not a complete disconnect from what they just saw in their video it has to be a relevant landing page. And then you can continue to have additional problems and solutions, because once you have someone's attention, if the video is not longer than 3 minutes, you don't pay any more in CPMs. You do pay more if a video is longer than 3 minutes. So you may as well continue to speak to some of those value propositions and pain points and credibility pieces for it. So I talk about the creative because it is a fundamental part of YouTube ads to be successful. So there is the creative, and there's a variety of different ad formats that we've been able to be successful with. But then in terms of targeting, so you get quite a bit of options for targeting because YouTube ads are run through the Google Ads platform. And so you can target people based on specific keywords that people are typing in. You can target people based on the types of websites that a viewer might be going to. You can target people based on specific interests for it. You used to be able to target specific YouTube channels and specific YouTube videos, but you can't really do that anymore. There's some workarounds for it, but placements are no longer an option. But aside from the targeting, then you have two main ad formats. There are bumper ads, as I mentioned, but two main ad formats that we see successful for generating a direct response, whether that's leads or sales, is you have in-stream ads, which are the videos that play before a video that someone's about to watch. And you have in-feed ads, and those are the ads that show up at the top of suggested videos on the right-hand side or at the top of YouTube search. But for those ones, someone actually has to click the video to watch it, and then it will take someone to the video, and they're viewing it as if they are viewing an organic video, where when you have an in-stream ad, they're viewing it as an ad and it has a link. So each one has different benefits and downsides, and so we test out both, and we see different performance for different types of businesses and different creative for it. But generally, those fall under responsive campaigns if you want to have both of those types inside of an ad campaign. This is more of a display ad within this. So
This is in feed. Is this?
Yeah, but it's not an in-feed video ad, so it's more of a display. So in this case, there isn't an ad that is being targeted for that. At least not at the top. There might be more, but usually, yeah.
What's you were mentioning there's advantages and disadvantages of each, and the in feed is kind of the top of the search. What are the advantages and disadvantages, or compare when would you use an in feed versus when you would use an in stream as an example?
Yeah, so I would test out both for it, but in stream is more likely to generate conversions at a more profitable rate. So and it's not a huge margin. We've seen in feed work just as well, but in some situations. But in stream, you get a clickable link for it, but you don't have all the comments from the video and things that you would see organically as you do in an in-feed ad for it when someone clicks onto the video. But you also lose some of that ability to have that call to action link. So, but there are some workarounds for that too.
I want to talk about GitHub for a second and some of the stuff you did with them, and I'm also going to pull them up. They have some videos here, and yeah, they have quite a bit of over 300 at this point in time, 380,000 subscribers, which is pretty amazing. And some of these videos have gotten millions of views, like this one. What are some of the things you do with a company like GitHub?
Yeah, so GitHub is obviously a large enterprise brand. So while Eckhart has a great business around and team that supports all of this, GitHub is a large enterprise with multiple stakeholders, multiple people that are creating videos for the channel, and so it's quite a different approach here in this case. So for the channel, we've been working with them for now over a year. It just crossed a year mark. And so when you think about the viewership, so yeah, well, some videos have 1 million, but some videos have 10,000 or 12,000 there for the one 9 days ago. Now, the value of a business having a view is a lot more than a gaming channel. So while business channels typically don't have as much viewership as entertainment channels, the person on the other side watching that is worth a lot more to a brand, because each of those are potential customers or users. So you can imagine if you have a business that has 115,000 people watching a video, all of those are potential users or customers. And so whether that
You don't
is,
need a lot of traffic for it to make sense.
yeah,
The right people
exactly.
watching it.
Exactly. So we've done we handle all of GitHub's optimizations and the split testing, and we have a couple campaigns that we're really proud of. One is their universe conference. So they run an annual conference, and this is has a series of different videos. And so our team was managing on the fly as they were finished filming. We'd have a quick edit and then upload those videos with a thumbnail and get those out.
Here it
And
is.
the difference from GitHub Universe 2022 to 2023 is substantial. We had a massive increase in viewership, even though there was less videos. We had a huge increase in viewership on the videos from the previous one. And a big part of that, obviously, is the content, but also the thumbnails. We had specific colors and themes for different series of the videos, and also obviously the optimization and playlisting that plays a role for it. So those are some of the things that have played a role. We also identify what videos could make great shorts and cut out clips that would be compelling for it. So GitHub definitely is an inspiring one. They also have some amazing series for it. So definitely for brands looking for inspiration, GitHub's a great one.
Marlon, I was watching some of your videos. The one that stuck out to me, oh, where is it? Oh, this one. 4 common reasons brands fail on YouTube, right? I like Costco as a brand, so I watched this one. So I want to pull up Costco and have you share a couple things that you see, because I was actually kind of surprised by, Costco's huge, obviously, and people shouldn't compare themselves on social media, but I'm going to compare you to Costco for a second. Your bachelor food channel has more subscribers than Costco does. So, what are some of the things that Costco can do to improve?
Yeah, so even when you type in Costco, so Costco has a great presence on YouTube, but it's not through their own channel. So it's other people doing hauls of them going to Costco and purchasing goods. So it's actually not easy to find the Costco channel. And this video is actually the most successful video on the channel. And if they just did more videos like this, obviously there's a novelty factor of a 93-inch bear, but it actually has a bit of a story, and it's actually a compelling video where if you go to the video section, a lot of the videos are just boring. They either don't have any dialogue, or they're old, like the tasty style videos of overhead videos of food being cooked. But like the viewership and the thumbnails, there, it's just it leaves room for desire with it, where they could be creating really novel videos and almost like mini infomercials about some of the cool products that are at Costco. But just this isn't doing it. Also, a lot of it is really short form, and YouTube kind of prioritizes on longer form content because it generates more watch time for it. And so if you're going to have a video that is less than a minute, it better be really amazing, or have some morality or be a YouTube short for it. But if you have a long form, like in terms of long form wide video, and it's less than a minute, it's less likely to be a strong performer for it.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. It is interesting because I wouldn't have known that, but by looking at it, you can see that they're very short form, and it's just like kind of a picture of food. So they should probably be split testing the thumbnails and maybe make longer term or longer videos.
Yeah, and obviously food content can do well. I've had success in food content, but there needs to be, again, like a unique value proposition or a host to make that engaging. Unless you're adding some novelty factors of using really unique ingredients for it. But how it's currently done is not working. If they did certain trends with that are happening in food and add another unique element, then there's potential for that food content. But it's probably not even worth the production that's going into it to put this out.
Do you see any companies that are successful kind of with cross promoting? I just remember listening to some pot or episode with Mr. Beast being interviewed, and early on, him and his friends would kind of cross promote each other's channels. What are there any tips there? Because this sticks out here with Kodiak, right? I would think, oh, if I had a brand on Costco, like I would probably promote the heck out of it, right? So are there ways that people can cross promote, team up with another channel and cross promote each other's stuff?
Yeah, it's a good thing to bring up. So collaborations are one of the most effective things that a creator or brand can do, because you are tapping into an entire audience that ideally there's an overlap with your audience, your target audience, and the collaborators' target audience. And where it becomes tricky is generally you need to create multiple videos for it. And so you need to find out, okay, well, you have one video idea. What makes the other video idea unique too? Because each video can only be going on one channel. And so when creating that video, you have to think, okay, well, what is going to make each of these videos compelling to watch for it? And what is the unique element that each of your channels combined can add a unique value that you couldn't do on your own to make something even more compelling? So we often see this with like building channels, where they'll have they'll either do it for an influencer and be able to feature that and leverage that audience, or for brands, it's less common with brands. Usually brands are not doing it with other brands, where there are definitely cases of that, but it's usually with influencers for it, and leveraging influencers' audiences, because generally influencers are going to have a wider audience than most brands.
So that company would create maybe a specific video with that influencer, and then the influencer would publish it on their channel.
Yeah, so we did it with a few companies, but one is a hair care brand called Vireo, and we would find influencers that it wasn't just like a video of the influencer talking about the product. It was actually using the product and creating like a value-based ad, like a how-to for it that actually provided value to the audience. And then we could actually post a version of that on the Vireo channel, and the creator would have their own version too for it.
I'm going to pull it up here because I remember seeing it on your page here. Here it is right here. This is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And then it kind of leads me to, Marlon, BBTV and what you did there and what you learned while you were at BBTV.
Yeah, so BBTV was not my first role with working with YouTube. So before that, I went to film school and had I studied entertainment business management. And so learning how to produce in all aspects of the entertainment industry kind of was the foundation for getting started on YouTube. And I had my own channel that was creating funny videos that were designed to sell a product, but through value-based content. So like how to speed read, how to lucid dream, and then we would sell a product at the end of that. And so that was my first foray into YouTube, and then some music channels. But then I worked at Broadband TV initially in sales, but then my role became managing some of the channels, and not only from a channel management point, but also from strategy to content ID, so managing the rights for it and providing consultations to really large artists and publishers, record labels for it, like not Mr. Beast, like Logic, and Mad Decent record label, World Star Hip Hop. So there was quite a few on the music side for it. And my goal there was to become the most knowledgeable person about YouTube. And so I paid for courses. I signed up for a course with Tim Schmoyer. Tim Schmoyer had a video channel called Video Creators and would teach about YouTube. And so I would just study YouTube and try and become the most knowledgeable person about it. And that led to starting my own YouTube channel, Bachelor on a Budget, to be able to put some of those things into practice beyond what I was doing with my own work. And so that was a big step into that. And from there, that led to someone asking me to do a presentation on YouTube and how I grew my channel and what I knew. And then that led to some consultancy for it. And these were businesses. And that very first business that we started working with went from a consultancy to managing their channel. And we actually still work with that channel today. But that was the founding of the agency, is seeing that brands were not doing YouTube well. And there were so many opportunities to apply the things that were working for YouTube and YouTube best practices for these brands, because YouTube, we feel, is the most valuable social platform for it.
Love it. Marlon, first of all, I have one last question, but thank you for sharing your journey and lessons. It has been hugely valuable. I want to point people to check out vireovideo.com to learn more and check out more episodes of the podcast. My last question is just mentors. And mentors could be someone you learn from personally, or it could be distant mentors, meaning there is a book or a resource that you just have found valuable throughout the years. Who have you considered some of your personal or distant mentors in what you learned?
Yeah, one of those is Chris Goward. He is the founder of Wider Funnel, which is the top CRO agency in the world, conversion rate optimization. He has since sold that, but I was fortunate to be connected to him, and he was graceful with his time and being able to provide great insights of what it looks like to work at a world-class agency. And so that's inspired me to do more mentorship and teaching where I can provide value. But he's one that comes to mind.
Do you remember any specific lessons, or maybe that he imparted on you, or that you just observed from Chris?
Yeah, one thing that he shared is actually how he shared insights. And so he never wanted to give me the answer of, like, if I'd ask a question, it was more getting me to share those learnings or come to those realizations through that mentorship. And so it's called Gestalt, of being able to share those insights without being able to be direct and being able to have someone actually figure it out themselves. Is like, this is what I did for it, and not saying this is what you should do.
Love it. Well, I want to be the first one. Thank you for sharing. Everyone check out vireovideo.com, more episodes of the podcast, and we'll see everyone next time. Marlon, thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like $100 grand.